What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Entre Mike back with the Entre Short for Entrepreneur. Today we're going to be going over a spot market update for 26-foot box trucks on the DAT ONE load board. If you guys enjoy this content, make sure before we get started to drop a like down, and if you want to see your city and state, make sure to drop that down in the comment section. We do this every single week, so if you guys want to tune in and watch this kind of content week by week, hit the subscribe button. Also, I am a licensed insurance agent, so if you guys are either coming up for a renewal or a new venture watching this video, just studying the market, know if you're in your 21-day process, I can help you get the best insurance quote for new ventures and existing businesses. So don't be afraid to contact me if you want me to be your agent. So let's go ahead and jump into the video. I hope you guys enjoy.
See how you do under pressure. Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra. Fuck with me, you know that I got it. Come with me, let's take a trip to the islands. We up on the jet, we'll do more than just fly on it. Stand on that hill, you gon' die on it. Boom. Baby, I'm not one of them, you should try on it. Miss me with all that, I'm on it and next. Fuck this up, I send you back to your ex. But good luck with that, this is big as it
So
gets.
before we get started, guys, I just want to go over the load to truck ratio really quickly, just to kind of show where the demand is for van freight. Based on your truck, how many loads will be in your area per truck. And of course, later in the video, we're going to actually search the load board for a few places that you guys wanted to see last time. So it looks like, again, the Southeast and South Central are the hottest as far as the load to truck ratio. All right, as far as the highest rate per mile, it looks like still the Midwest. Consistently, it's been like that for the past 2 months. And I don't see this changing anytime soon. As you can see, second place, we got South Central. Surprising enough, we got the West Coast at third, and then we got the Southeast and then Northeast at last. So this gives you a great, perspective on where you should keep your truck in the market. It's predominantly going to be the Midwestern states. Then we got the diesel prices. Looks like we're at a national diesel fuel price of about $3.53. So a weekly percentage that's lower. That's good news. And as far as the spot rates for vans, looks like we're at $1.96 so far on average for a 53-foot dry van. So keep in mind, rates for a 26-foot box truck may be a little bit cheaper depending on the demand for that freight. Month over month, it looks like flatbed, with all the shakeup in the market right now, it's the only thing trending up as we do head towards open deck season. As far as reefer, I'm pretty sure it should start following soon, and hopefully we can start seeing a spike near the end of April. But it looks like year to date we are still heading downward as far as rates. Let's hop into the load board. All right, guys, first thing we're gonna do right now for the vans is just go ahead and look at the loads in to loads out ratio. First, we're going to look at the loads coming in. Looks like it's the same top 5 people every single time: Texas, Florida, California, Georgia, and Illinois as far as freight coming in. But we do want to pay attention to the loads coming out. This is going to give us a good idea on basically what's the load to truck ratio basically on here too. Just kind of seeing if there's more loads coming out than loads coming in. That's usually a good sign that that's where you want your truck to be when dropping off a load. Not too many trucks dropping off load who are looking for backhaul freight. Let's go ahead and jump into the load board. All right, so we got it blank right now. We're just going to go ahead and go through this for origin. The first place we have is Atlanta, Georgia for a search. We're keeping our deadhead at 150 miles. This is the distance to travel to pick up the load. Destination is if we were going somewhere specific. And if deadhead destination would be if we wanted to stay within a specific search, request. Equipment type, we're gonna put in van. Well, let's do straight box truck first. Straight box truck. This is where 90% of your loads are gonna get booked, no matter what, honestly. Van, and then we want to put in van lift gate. As far as load type, I usually put in full and partial just so I can, have access to all the loads posted in this area versus just a certain type. And honestly, some of these brokers, they get a little lazy sometimes and they'll post a full load for a partial load and a partial load for a full load. So for length, we're going to cater this towards 26-foot box trucks. As far as the weight, I'm going to do 10,000 pounds. Of course, this is subjective based on your truck and your truck operations, and let's search. So for Atlanta, we got 91 results and 229 similar results. Usually similar results are like, let's say if you put 150-mile radius, anything within 150 to 200-mile radius might pop up in there too. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes you might need to open up this radius to, let's say, 200 miles, depending on where you are. And of course, more results will be available within that search. We're going to go back to 150. Look, a new post, two loads just got posted. If I was looking myself, I would go based on age, right? But just for the purpose of this video, we're going to do the highest rate and highest rate per mile. So the highest rate per mile coming out of Atlanta is coming from Birmingham, Alabama to, is this Newcastle, Maine? 16-foot van partial for straight box. For straight box trucks, it looks like the highest rate is $1,200 going from McDonough, Georgia to East Windsor, Connecticut. And the way I'm figuring out what vehicles is posted for is the equipment tab. So you got van, V for van, SB for straight box. And if it was a VG on here, it would be for van liftgate. They rarely post loads for that, but you still want to have it up just in case for my liftgate guys. Now let's go ahead and check the highest rate per mile coming out of Atlanta. We got McDonough to Knightdale, North Carolina for $1.49. Not the highest rate in the world, but the Southeast isn't really known for having the highest rates as far as for box trucks. This is why you want to get your truck to a better area for rates, such as the Midwest or South Central, and just kind of run your triangles, man. Run your triangles. See this one, Atlanta to Miami. Full truckloads, 26 feet, $7,600. Trying to look for more comments. Okay, this needs a dedicated box trucks, needs inside delivery. So for this to pay $1.09 on 1,000 miles is asinine. I mean, this should pay easily $2.50 a mile, given the fact that it's driver assist and you got to go inside them. But we're not going to spend too much time here. Let's go ahead and go to our next pick. These are always super high requests. Chicago, Illinois. This is usually your hub for some of the highest paying freight. We're going to start off with the highest rate, which is going from Paxton, Illinois to Reno, Nevada. No comments. A 26-foot box truck load, 8,200 pounds. Next highest one is another straight box load going from Countryside, Illinois to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. 26-foot with lift gate needed. Pick up today until 1 p.m. Delivers Thursday. So it looks like a few day, I guess, a couple of day load. 2,000, I guess you make 1,000 a day, but like I said, with that many miles, you need a better rate, honestly. With Delta Way, not too bad. And then the highest rate per mile is going from Madison, Illinois to Mount Juliet, Tennessee. If you are not set up with Amazon, please visit Amazon Relay, basically. So this is an Amazon load. Interesting. And we got Frankfort, Indiana to Charlotte, North Carolina. 53 van required. So that's not for a 26-footer. All right, give me a second as I look up the next request. We got a request for Crossville, Tennessee. It's my first time getting this request. For a 26-foot straight truck, let's see what the highest rate is. We got $2,400, $1 a mile, basically, to go from McMinnville, Tennessee to I'm not even gonna try. Washington. Must have lift gate, Tailgrass Freight Company. Okay. Second highest is Dalton, Georgia to Massachusetts. Goodness. No comments. Let's go to the highest rate per mile. Looks like we got $1.74 to go from Clinton, Tennessee to Savannah, Tennessee. Call Blake or email. So this is Blake's information. This is Blake's email. And just something that I want to talk about as I go through the next search tab. make sure you guys are building relationships with these brokers, right? A lot of guys don't pay attention to this when they're new because they just figure, I'm going to be hauling freight across the country. So why build relationships? Especially for the guy living in Tennessee. Every freight broker who has a relationship with a freight shipper in that respected area, you should be trying to build the best relationship, showing up an hour early for pickup and delivery, showing that you can be a trusted carrier, know the ins and out about your equipment and what you can do for them, and let them know what makes you different. Next one we got is Baltimore, Maryland. 148 results. Looks like the highest rate is $3,600. It's the highest one today, going from Alexandria, Virginia to Lacey, Washington. A lot of stuff going into Washington. 4 picks, 3 drops though. That's yeah. All right, and then the next one we got $3,500 to go from Baltimore, no deadhead, to Carpinteria, California. Or Carpinteria, something like that. 1 pick, 4 drops. This has to be a van load too, right? Yeah. So that's one thing, one con with the vans is so many freaking, so many drops. And then look at this, need a carrier that factors with RTS. Good thing we got RTS in the description if you guys are looking for a factoring company. Look, this broker right here basically said, hey, if you don't have RTS, we probably can't even work with you, right? Make sure you have a very reputable factoring company. If you guys want Darius's information, I'll leave the link to the video to learn more about him, or just a company for RTS in general. Highest rate per mile is for a straight box, coming out of Shoemakersville, Pennsylvania to a good bit of deadhead to Northborough, Massachusetts. All right. Shoemakersville, PA to Kissimmee, Florida. It's a van one though. $1.70. Looks like the highest was $2.44. And also keep in mind too, guys. You guys want to have the age up. Like if these loads aren't on the board now, it's probably a reason for it. Usually really good high paying loads with high demand are booked within, sometimes 30 seconds to a minute. But I would argue a minute to 5 minutes is all it takes for a really high paying load to get booked and then taken off of this load board. So don't be discouraged on the rates that's posted on here now, because they're not really reflecting all of the loads that are posted. It's just the ones that are currently showing. For the highest rate coming out of Cali, Victoria, California, is going from all the way from San Francisco, California to New York, New York. 60 cents a mile. Needs a lift gate and pallet jack and $250K worth of insurance. I don't see how any of this correlates to the rate that's posted. Next one is Santa Clara, California to Henderson, Nevada. Over here thinking about North Carolina. Pick up at 10:30, lift gate and pallet jack. $68. Not too much deadhead, I guess. All right, that's enough for the West Coast. Got Savannah, Georgia. Let's go ahead and look at the highest rate coming out of Savannah. We got $2,100. We go from North Charleston, South Carolina to Concord, California. Next one is $1,300 to go from South Carolina to Maine. So usually the longer the haul, the less the money, and you got to partial up some freight to make it make sense. That's kind of the industry right now. Highest rate per mile though, we got Jacksonville, Florida. To Destin, Florida. Palletized building material. King of Freight. That's a pretty decent brokerage. Probably got to be in business for about 6 months to a year to run with them though, honestly. PLS. I ran a lot of those. PLS and TQL. Look at that TQL, Landstar. All the brokers that I talked about are on here. Might need to make another top 5 list, top 10 list. Let's see this one. Green Pond, South Carolina to Cameron, Louisiana. Dedicated 26-foot straight truck. Macro point required and active for entire transit. They got some strict requirements for you to haul their freight for sure. And guys, that's it for today's spot market. load search for 26-foot box truck for this week's video. I did leave a few cities and states off. I think I'm just gonna make a, not necessarily a part 2, but just another video later on this week or early next week to catch up on those ones that I missed, because I don't want these videos to get dragged out too long, and it can kind of, I know, be a little boring to you guys. If it's not boring, I want you guys to drop down a comment on if you want longer videos going over more search requests. I don't know if you guys watch this just for your request or if you're kind of interested as how the market looks as a whole. So, I mean, I'm very open to feedback. If you guys wouldn't mind these videos being 15 to 20 minutes longer or 15 to 20 minutes long, make sure you drop down a comment so I can get that feedback, take it in and adjust. But until then, guys, it's your boy Entre Mike. I enjoy you guys watching the video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.